So we'll start with the pledge. Are you ready, Carrie? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Carrie, we got roll call of, looks like everyone, Jeff Hamilton except for Dave, Landis, Martin, Root, Vanoy, Bishop.
And Dave Price is an excused absence. He let us know a week in advance.
Yes, he did.
We need a motion to approve the next month's or last month's minutes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I would like to make a couple changes. If anyone else has discussion before I go. So definitely need, on the last page, where we have, with Martin's request, the 2 yays and 2 nays is inaccurate.
Okay, what was it?
2 abstained, being Holly and Nick. Dwayne and Jeff opposed.
May I?
Of course.
Dave Hamilton, or Dave Price said I
Yeah.
abstained from this. Nick did, and I didn't vote. Holly,
I abstained.
you abstained too?
Yes. he-
And I couldn't vote.
He recused himself.
That's what I
Because you-
said.
Okay, but Dave
Holly?
Price abstained too.
Maybe
Yeah, accused himself, abstained, whatever.
Maybe you didn't hear with my mask. Dwayne, not Dave. Dwayne and Jeff opposed.
2 opposed.
Nick and Holly abstained. You and Dave did not vote.
Correct. Okay.
2 abstained, and that was,
Instead of it saying 2 yays and 2 nays,
okay, so it was 2
It needs to
abstained,
be-
1, Dave recused, I can never say that word, sorry. 2 opposed was
no,
Hamilton,
and Vanoy
and then,
opposed.
okay,
Holly and Nick abstained. And then 2 recused. Also, although we do not make a note of every conversation that's being said, we do want to make sure the promise that Mr. Moore and his 3 friends will be filling the council seats. I think it shows intent and motivation to our existing council and mayor. The promise that they will be in the seat and run for the seats. It just shows intent and other things. I think that should be put in the minutes.
If I could make a comment on the yays and the nays and the
okay.
abstains and all that. So it's right, so I made the motion to deny the payment. And I believe myself and Dwayne voted in favor of that motion. I don't know how you want to word it, but I guess we voted yes for the motion.
That's what I thought, I guess.
Yeah. So the motion was to deny payment, and then we voted in favor of the motion.
Yeah, and then there was the 2 abstains and
And then there was 2 abstains and then 2 non-votes.
Right.
Any more discussion? Or you got more to share?
The only other thing I have to say, if people before council or anyone wants to make amendments to our minutes, they need to come to the next meeting. There's been a record of the verbal assault that I myself endured after our last meeting with Fairfield County Sheriff's Department for harassment. There's also been a record of the repeated phone calls from ex-mayor Mark Moore to our fiscal officer, where he has said what she needs to do, where he had said she was in violation, and where he insinuated that I would ask her to omit information. That has all been recorded with the Fairfield County Sheriff's Department. When we come to council meetings the next month, this is an official government meeting, and council and mayor make the changes, and then we'll entertain if people before council need to add to that. So I just want it on public record that harassment record has been made with Fairfield County Sheriff's Department, and leave my fiscal officer alone. Now I'm done. Yes, Carrie.
These are just the minutes that I type up. They're not actually approved until the following month. So if there is any changes, that is when, or, you know, I'm human. There's stuff that I might accidentally leave out, or I might interpret it differently. So,
That's how we get by it.
exactly. So just if there's any
We approve the next month to get by that.
Right.
That's right. Procedure is do it next month. Don't harass her on the phone at her office or on her day off.
Holly, you initially made the motion.
I'd like to make the motion to approve the amended minutes.
I'll second.
All approved? Passed.
I'm ready.
People before council, we're gonna start with Ralph Hedrick.
Thought you were gonna make him go last.
No, I was going to.
I greatly appreciate that. As I've been told, and in reference to about speeding limits, of having a reduced speeding limit sign to come into town, village can do that. Village is responsible to do that, not the township. The only thing you'd have to do is you'd have to get with the county engineers, make sure you put the sign in the right spot, height, whole 9 yards. You have to get that approval from there. I think you, Carrie, have been in contact with Eric with the county?
Yes, and he told me that currently it really is, once it's township on that side, it technically is 55. Even though years ago, we used to have a 35 speed limit sign there. He said, if you do it to what is already there, technically it would be 55. If, the township or the state, depending on what's there, he told me that it would be up to them they would have to agree to the reduction, and since it actually technically isn't the village at that alley on, so it was, presented to me that it might just be better to leave it without a sign, because since it's technically 55 at that point. That was his suggestion to me. But I figured at that point, the council would make that decision of what they wanted to do, whether they wanted to contact you guys to see if you guys wanted to reduce it.
We would have to do an ODOT study by that
Right.
standard. And with that standard also would require, through his past practice, it probably would not pass to get down to a 35. So,
Can somebody enlighten me exactly where we're talking about?
If you're going out of town,
by the
by the
village,
railroad.
Okay, by the village. Village of Railroad?
Yes, from the alley.
down where the school's
Where
going,
it's going out is township side.
Okay.
And there's no speed limit marked, and the sheriff was asking it to be marked so he could prosecute better. But technically, it
So I just-
would be better not to.
That's a very mixed-up situation. It's been that way for years. That's half that street belongs to the village coming in, the other half's the township going out, and they alley out.
Well, I appreciate your call with the county engineer and your communications with us.
So just wanted to make sure, and I think Jimmy's talked to you also about that. We know that we're trying to work everything together, township and the village.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Rob. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, see you guys.
Thank you.
Sue, are you going before council, or are you here for just?
I'm here to complain again.
Okay, all right, well,
The situation from my house on the corner of the street with all that garbage and tree limbs and trash.
That is.
Realize, guys, I've been in here for almost a whole year trying to get you guys to do something.
well, we have made attempts, and from what I understand, he has mowed his grass, or he did move some stuff out of the way.
Yeah, I finally did move the refrigerator off the front porch, and I did finally get that stuff out front of his garage. And then a month later, he had a bunch more stuff sitting in the garage. And it was there probably a month, and I seen him was pushing in the garage. And I tell you what, this is hope the tornado will come to an end and get that garage. Because it would explode.
Yeah, there's a pole, right out in the grass that you just did today.
Well, I thought I had.
Yeah, there's two violations. One for that was trash, and, on March 24, Shar, said the only thing was left was the wood pile, at that point, and then, we were waiting he was trying to figure out where he would take the wood, and then, he was written up today for his grass and weeds.
So I'm gonna add, I understand your frustrations. I've also had some issues with, property maintenance going on for months and years at a time. And in February, we've made some changes for our property maintenance. And as council members have each month to rotate as inspectors or code enforcers, we are revamping our, property maintenance. And I have seen some progress. Granted, it's not all that we want. And so we have to give credit where credit is due, and we will continue to work this process in a better, timely manner. It will not be another year.
I hope not.
I give you my word. If I go out there and cut up every piece of sticks myself, we will work better at property maintenance, Sue.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that there, I'm definitely gonna put that thing up there. He'll never learn.
It is state of mind in some situations.
It'll be real clear again, and then he'll go back and start pouting, because he thinks he can get by with it now, so there's gonna be such a mess from then.
Yes.
He keeps adding and adding.
There's been a few properties that have felt like they could get away with things, because it's been that way, but it's not anymore, and continue to let us know. It's complaint driven, so thank you for your time.
Yeah, okay.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
we've got you noted, and we'll take action again just as soon as we can.
It's a shame, that he, you know, the devil of that property. He's just a young kid.
Yeah. You're welcome to stay or quietly leave whenever you
I'm
like.
gonna stay a while.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Betty, we've got you next on the agenda.
I'm sorry, Dwayne, I think we have one more, a letter from Elisa concerning, the road closure would be considered the,
I
road
didn't realize
closure.
that, sorry.
No, don't be.
I guess we entered new business or something.
No, a comment, I guess, we could do new business or we can counter as a person before council. What do you guys want to do?
This week, work.
First before council, just knocked out.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fine. Carrie, you want to read it?
She sent me two, so I don't know if you got one.
Yeah, I got
She is wanting to shut down, a side street during the vendor fair, Mother's Day, tent exchange, to also include the Vendor Dental and the Space Cafe 2-year anniversary and the 4-year for the dental office. She wants to put up a bounce house, and so she wants to do John Street, up to the Pendleton Possibilities area. She said that she's already contacted the businesses and they all agreed to, the closure. And, and she wanted to know if it was okay between 10 and 4.
So is the bounce house and entertainment going to be on the street?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And it'll coincide with the vendor fair that's going across the village, and all that stuff. So,
Would it just be closed from the corner to Petals and Possibilities?
at least that's what I'm seeing. Well, we would probably close down the whole block section. but-
Because it says Petals and Possibilities has asked that it not be closed on their section to the front.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's all right.
the corsages and all that.
That was the original, because they're gonna put it outside, right there where
Right.
Spades is. And then she did talk to the businesses, and that was an issue for the prom, so they agreed to move it back to John's and up to Petals and Possibilities. That way they still have access for parking and people to go in and get there. So that was part
Thanks for
one.
clarifying that. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And then some businesses had scheduling conflicts with prom and picking up flowers, so then she went back to the residents and moved it back and got permission for that.
And Benny, if I remember right, we can't block that alley. We couldn't block it during the festival. You're right.
Yes.
That alley has to be left open.
Alley has to be left open for emergency vehicles. Okay, do we vote on this?
So if we make clear to her that the road can be closed for inflatables, but the alley needs to be clear, is what we're entertaining?
Yes.
I mean, if the businesses have already agreed, then I would say that I would be willing to, go ahead and make a motion to approve it with the understanding that the alley has to be clear.
Yeah, but
What would be the possibility of them going on the south side of John Street? That would leave Petals and Possibilities completely open, or I mean, on that south side of Main Street from there to the alley.
well, what they're saying is that prom corsages have to be handed out that night, and they're going to pick them up, and they want it to be clear.
That's what I'm saying, so if, instead of going from Main Street up to Petals and Possibilities, how about going from Main Street to the alley headed towards Church Street?
That's what she's doing. She has permission
No.
from each of the residents.
No, he's talking about going across the street.
Other side.
Yeah, that's what she did. She
I thought
asked,
she was talking about going to John.
I thought she was, yeah.
no, she asked from each of the residents from Main Street towards Church Street to use that road.
Okay, that wasn't what I was
Okay, that's
saying.
all.
Yeah, I was going on the same
Yeah.
thing he was.
That's what my communications were with her. How about you, Nick? Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Yeah, because
I don't want to speak for it, but yeah, it sounds like, because the original was John Street on the side of Petals and Possibility, however, being funded, they'd like to have easier access to the store. I then went ahead and asked all the residents properties on the opposite side of
Yeah.
John Street, if we could just use.
I suggested to her to talk to the residents
It
first.
should say on the opposite side of Main Street, instead of the opposite side.
So
of
does
John
that alleyway need to be clear?
Street. That alley would have to be clear too.
Okay,
We have to
so
have
we still
emergency
need to make
access
that
for
clear.
emergency equipment to be able to get
It's supposed to be Main Street.
in and out, so they
Okay.
can't go, they can't block the alley off either way they go.
So from Main to the alley,
From Main to the alley, they have to be the alley.
on the south side of town. Okay, everybody's good with the location.
Okay, I wasn't.
No, I was with you, man, I'm sorry.
I mean, after reading it, opposite side of John's from, I mean, that makes sense. I think the wording thing.
Yeah. She means from Main Street to Church Street, close that, she checked with those neighbors, they approved, we clear the alley for our business.
That's, I think that's a good idea.
Thank you.
I mean, that was the way I was understanding it when it was being read, so I messed up this.
It's also level for the bounce house too.
Right.
Yeah.
And being this is Saturday, we could have the shut-offs sitting there.
Well, that was gonna be my next question, when you guys finish
Or you
this
could pick them
vote.
up at the
Do you-
office or something.
Yeah, that's my next question. Is service department guys gonna do this, or am I, or who is gonna block the road? Parks committee members?
It's on Saturday, I mean, we have to have the guys come in if he's gonna.
I can do it.
Typically, we just put it up at the shop. and
I'm gonna be there setting up for the plan exchange, so let's continue.
I think between you and the Parks Committee, we can get it, that way we make sure it's set up in the correct spot, and then
Yep.
everyone's on the
I
same
like it.
page. But, I mean, I can make sure that you get access to the road close signs and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that's what we need.
I like it.
I like the second.
Wait, who made the motion?
Oh, yeah, I'll make the motion.
That's a Saturday, correct?
Yeah.
Correct, Saturday, May 8th, from 10 to 2?
10 to 4, she
10 to
requested.
4.
I think that's just enough time for setup.
I'll set up, someone else tear down, please, sorry. Vote, sorry.
I'll second the motion to get closure for them to do the bounce house and music for,
We have a motion and a first, or a motion and a second. All in favor? Anyone else to come before council? All right, Ben, the stage is yours.
All right, I don't know where, do you want to start with this paving stuff first, Carrie, or you want to wait till we get off to some other part of the meeting?
You could go ahead and start that, and then we'll just finish going through that.
Well, we got quotes, 2 quotes on the paving that we want to have done. Only Rose Brothers Company, they do their own sealing, and stuff, but Spire Paving does not do crack sealing or tar and chip. So we got quotes from Rose Brothers, and they do it all.
just all of them curb dumper.
No, that's not, this is for the ones, the extra streets and alleys we were on the way.
Or they're doing the other.
Oh, this is.
Okay, I'll make sure Dave gets it, thank you. Thank you.
All right, Carrie has the ones from